Well, good morning. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, A Daily Guide to a Purposeful Life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. It's a 365-day inner journey, and we're on day 39 of that journey together. Glad to have you along, and today's message is called Taking Action. Woo! Taking action. This is the big kahuna of all success in this physical world of ours. It's called action. No matter what or how great an idea you have, it will stay in the fantasy world, in the ether. It's there. You can bring it forth. You can, right? It'll stay in the fantasy world of your mind until you decide to take action. We talk about it every day. Your action has to be consistent action. And you have to have that follow through that I talk about all the time. It's all about follow through. When you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't put it off, procrastination. Nope. No. When it comes into your mind, do it then. If you got the time to do it then, do it then. Okay? That's a little bing, 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 a little bell in your head. Do it now. Don't put it off. Just take that little action. That little action is going to lead to the next action that you're going to have to take. It's all steps. It's all steps. And action. And what do you need for that action? You need some energy, baby. You need some energy. Your quality energy is what you need for this. Okay? All right. Success in anything, including the daily obstacles we face, demand this force. Action is just intention in motion. I can. I will. I'm going to nip this in the butt. I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to do it with quality, presence. I'm in the moment. I'm going to take care of it with quality, right? Not just thinking about 10 other things. Focus on whatever that is for that minute, right? Give it your time. Okay, it's important because when you give it your time, you're giving it your best. You're putting a squirt of your best into that, and it matters. When we live our lives intentionally using the magic of inspired action, inspired, remember, inspired means in spirit. In spirit, you're in your spirit. You're not stuck in your ego, right? Your ego, your body is doing the actions it takes, right? Okay, there, let's give your ego the action. There it does. That's what it's for. There you go. But the inspiration for it, let that come from your soul, right? Let that come from your spirit. Let that spirit take you. Every great inventor in all time, it was always inspired action, right? Like I was mentioned a few episodes back, Thomas Edison took him 90,000 times to find the filament for the light bulb to get it right. Wow. That's some diligence. That's some diligence. Man alive. We will know success on an ever increasing level when we take inspired action. This means giving yourself a bit more time to let your spirit weigh in on the situation, no matter what it is. That space, that presence. Whenever you're going to take that inspired action, give yourself the space to start doing a little creating in your head. You're driving along, turn the radio off, turn it off. Give yourself just quiet when you're creating in your head. No other distractions, right? That will focus your mind. Like we say, Zen, you become the answer yourself. You become it. You're going to embody it. You're going to say, I'm going to just sit in this and let the answer bubble up. I have the overall view of what I want. Let's fill in the blanks together, Spirit. Let's fill in those blanks. I'm giving it my intent, my attention, and my intention. I'm looking inward for the answer, and I'm just going to rest in the center where good things bubble up, right? If I don't have time for that, great, but you're going to get better at that so that when you have to do things fast, you're buzzing off good decisions. You become a great decision maker because you can think for that space in that time before that action has to be taken and go. And you've had all this other experience, all this other filing cabinet of present moment awareness that your tools are right there. They're sharp. They're sharp in the moment. But you've got to be in the present moment all the time to sharpen those tools, right? Whatever you do, whatever your specialty is, you become that specialty. The zen of it, where whatever is in front of you, you're giving your total focus to it and your total attention to it. And you become one with whatever that is that you're working with, right? It's part of it. It's the process of creation. And that's the fun of life, right? That's the fun of life, especially when you know you're the creator of it. Then you take the action that you need to take in your favor, right? Stay off the rock, stay in the stream, steady stream, clear focus, avoid the bullshit. A lot of that, a lot of naysaying and all that other stuff. Stay focused on your dream, whatever that is. Okay? Whether it's your dream you're working on, a new job, a new relationship, a financial difficulty, or improving your business or your life, inspired action is the rocket ship to success. We always seem to go to God, all other methods. Now I have to go to somebody I really haven't talked to in a while, and I don't really have a relationship, and you're feeling bad because you're trying to hide from God because you think God is outside of you and all this stuff, right? The old thinking. No, God is in here. God knows what you're going to think before you even think it. God knows the mistakes you're going to make before you even make them. It's all baked in. God knows we're here and what's going on here. It's absolute because we're here, right? And we're a cup of God. We're each cup of God. Okay, so we're not getting away with anything. The universe has a perfect accounting system, right? For what we think, say, and do. That's why you get it going in the direction where the stream is already flowing, right? Where all your goodness lies. You stay in that stream. And that stream's going to just be a much more beautiful ride. You're focused on a beautiful ride. You're thinking beauty. You're thinking quality thoughts. I want beauty in my life. I want it to be meaningful. I want it to be purposeful. Well, then I have to do all of those things. I have to create all of those things, right? You can't sit on the couch and just wait for them to come. No, you're the artist. You create them and then watch what comes back from that. It's it. It's always out and comes back. What do you want, right? You want love. You know what to do, right? You're not going in with your ego if you want love. That's a pushing away. You're pushing it away because you're competing. The ego loves to compete. That is its main goal because it's separate, feels separate from everybody else. And I have to be better than them at this or that, or I feel lower than them at this or that, which is the other side of the ego, putting ourselves down. And, but in putting ourselves down, sometimes we create this character that has to be all blustery and blowhardy because that's what we think we have to do in order to seem big. But no, right? Love. The world would be such a better place if we all just turned on our light and said, screw the other stuff. It's just garbage we've lived with for too long. In ourselves as well. First and foremost, we've lived it in ourselves as well, holding on to old hurts, old wounds, old grudges, old resentments. Nope. Kick them out. They're just taking up beautiful space. Space that will make you feel more beautiful when you kick it out. It's like having a house full of mice. You love animals, but they got to go, right? That's your house. That's your house, right? Your mind, your body, and your spirit. That's your house, okay? You got to take charge of all of those. Take charge of those emotions so they don't take charge of you. And that's what we're doing every day, saying, I got to examine that emotion because it always throws me off. I'm always assuming stuff. I'm always building these scenarios in my head, and then I let it out, and I stick my foot in my mouth all the time. It's like, right, you got to rest in knowing that, shine the light on it, and say, okay, I'm aware of it now. Don't kill yourself and crush yourself over it. Just self-correct, right in time, without any hoopla, none needed. Forgive yourself, right? If there's somebody you have to apologize to for a sudden eruption of that, then yes, of course, clear the energy, clear it. Nobody wants that garbage in their way, right? Clear connections so that you have a clear connection without all the static of problems and chaos and high school garbage, ego garbage. What do you want? You want peace, don't you? Inner peace is the gold. Inner peace coming from, like I say, Mr. Anxiety. Inner peace has become the gold for me. I'm not saying I'm always there, but I'm saying I know how to get there and I know that's the real me. So when I get out of tune and out of place, I know where to go back to. And I know that if I've caused damage, I know what I have to do to free the energy, right? I have to have the upper character, the quality character, the one that can apologize, the one that can admit it's wrong and come back to the center of our relationship, which is the heart of it. The heart of our relationships are in the center, right? And we get out of that center, right? We get out of the stream. The stream is like this between you and me. It's like this. Things are flowing nice. right? All of a sudden I say, hey, why the heck did you do it like that? I think I would have done it. All of a sudden the stream goes, wait a minute. I'm taking that personally. And now our stream is floating. I'm going to grab a rock over here. you know, that's what happens. The ego gets involved. It's like, no, man, just flow. Harmony. Harmony. Tell the other people what they do. That's cool. And if they ask you for your advice on something, yeah, sure. If they look at you that way, they're going to ask you for it anyway. Just be flowing. Stay in the flow and taking action. That the flow of action is creativity and intention meet the physical self, right? There you go. You're building something, making something that didn't exist before, pulling it from the ether and making it simply as a gift. That's one of a kind thing. One of a kind that you're making. And then you give that to somebody. Man, those are the kind of gifts somebody gives me. It's one of a kind. Somebody's art. Somebody's art that can't be replaced. It can't be AI'd. That's the thing about AI. It's like, I think there's going to be a huge market for human made. That's what it's going to have to be called. Human art, right? Soul art. It's a soul. It comes from God, right? It comes from the wisdom of the universe, not from a computer, right? Right. I'd rather have soul-made items any day of the week. When your kids are growing up and they make you that little popsicle stick thing, I still have those. You keep them. They're one of a kind. You look at those, and what do? They put a smile on your face, bring you right up into gratitude for what you've created, what you have, what's been in your life. That's it, baby. That's life. That's the breath of life. Breathing. The breath of life is when you're up in that higher area. Breathe in that gratitude. Blow out that victimhood. It's garbage. Remember who you are. Remember what you've created. Remember what you can create from here forward if you want. It's all going to take some action, baby. And you got what it takes. I found that just taking the first step is like starting the engine. It will then lead to the next and the next and the next until we find ourselves in the flow. When we see progress, we will want to keep going, and the path will become clear. Even if all of a sudden there's a little stop in that path, maybe it's just a little delay saying, I got to do a few things behind the scenes here before we can get to this. Have patience, trust, have faith. There's going to be lulls. There's going to be lulls in times where you're going, nobody's working as fast as they need to. There's going to be those times, right? You're a lot of times, you can't create anything great without other people, right? So you're going to have to just do your best and share your best to get all the best results from everybody that's around you, right? So that you're working in the flow, getting it done with quality. Quality, all right? Improving any area of your life begins with right-minded choice, followed by actions that will inspire. Don't ever be afraid to make a mistake or get sidetracked by a momentary failure. These aren't failures. They're lessons forward. They're just, okay, this didn't work. All right, what can work? Let's get back on track. That momentary failure there's just to steer you to another choice. Thomas Edison tried 90,000 different ways. This is classic. That kind of determined thought is why you may even be reading this entry, illuminated by his inspired creation. You know what I mean? You're inspired by so many people. I was inspired by wood carving over this past year, and I got one of those little Dremels, and I went to town, and I loved it. Not that I have time to do it all the time, but boy, it was fun, and I just learned there was something else that I put in my little arsenal of fun can-dos that if I have the time, and I'll make somebody something nice, I'll do it, and I'll have fun doing it. Spice of life, baby. Variety, spice of life. And when you're creative, anything goes. Any medium, music, art, swimming, throwing darts, pickleball, all that stuff. Whatever it is that lights you up, do more of it. All right. So no matter what you intend in your life to look like, think about it from your higher place, the quality mindset. Let your imagination run wild with cool ideas. And then you'll be asking the universe to help you. When you get in that mindset of creativity, the universe says, what do you want to create? But when we're in our ego and we're in that imagination and we're imagining in the wrong direction, the universe says, okay, all right, that's what you want to do. Stay out of that room. Close that stupid negative door. Get back up into good thinking and create from there. Turn on some good music. Remember your life. Do something awesome. Create some laughter with some friends. Draw something. Something in that realm. Something in your creative realm that's going to take you places this year. You wait and see. Stick with it. Do something in that arena. It's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. All right. Let's see. All right. If your problem, your goal, or your dream is, if your problem or your goal or your dream is big enough, you must move on it and move on it now. One step will lead to 1,000, and you'll find that each time you succeed based on your action, you'll have prepared yourself for bigger and better things, right? You'll know more. You will have traveled a journey where you had to be self-reliant in so many ways that what you're doing is you're creating a beautiful toolbox, a beautiful toolbox of tools that you may not know that you'll need for 15 years, but that tool's in there, right? It'll come right up. It'll come right up on the screen of your mind when you need it because you've done it and it has been a successful piece for you. All right. Positive thought is never enough. We need to put it in motion. We need to embody the project. We need to embody the end result. And then the steps will come on how to get there by just taking the first, second, third, and so on. But envision the end result. What's this place going to look like? And then put your enthusiasm in there. It doesn't go. The rocket don't get off the ground without enthusiasm. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. And then discipline. Discipline means diligent, daily focus on it. Watering it like a plant. Never letting it run dry. Okay? All right. So, let's see. It will prove to be a victorious path and an enlightening journey for you the whole way. You're an amazing being with incredible power. Never forget that. Today's CTA is unleash that power today and every day in your life and choose only to live and embody the light of your dream, right? There's going to be crap, right? This is, opposite land. But remember, for every negative, there's a positive. And for every time you fall down, there's get up. And you're training your get up this year. You're training your get up and get at it, man. That's what you're training. And action is going to be a big part of it. Okay? So much love, guys. And I shall see you tomorrow. Go out and spread your light. You know what to do.